Hey guys, Collins here, and today we're back with a brand new video. And now, obviously, as you can tell by the title, today we're going to be talking about YouTube and the issues it has presented over the years. Now, originally it was supposed to be a half an hour to an hour long skit where I'm just sitting down while reading a script and talking to the camera, much like this. However, I've realized that doing that and going through that process would take many months of editing, and quite honestly, it's very, very daunting to me. And personally, I just don't want to do all that, and that's why I've been pushing this project to the side for many months now. However, today is a day where I will be sitting down. However, instead of having a bunch of skits and funny moments and whatever the works may be, because I'm not very funny and it wouldn't come out great anyways, I'm just going to be talking over some gameplay as per usual. And in any case though, I hope you guys do enjoy. Sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and let's get this party started, baby. Broadcast yourself. The motto of a once beloved video sharing icon of the 21st century seemingly has been forgotten, or simply replaced. YouTube over the past several years has destroyed their own platform with change after change after change after change, all of which fail to fix the ongoing issues, or worse, create new, even worse problems. Now, one of the biggest issues with YouTube at the moment is their communication. You would think a multi-billion-dollar website such as YouTube would have systems in place in which their creators can contact higher-ups at the company to help resolve issues. However, this simply isn't the case, as the most feasible way to get in contact with YouTube is by going to Twitter and adding Team YouTube for help. Yes, you heard me right. The best way to get in contact with YouTube is not going through YouTube at all, but rather using a different social media platform to gain the attention of YouTube. And that's not even the biggest issue of all. The biggest issue to rise with this is the fact that you need influence, you need a following in order to get in contact with an actual human at YouTube. Because if you only have a couple hundred subscribers on YouTube and maybe a couple hundred followers on Twitter, you're not going to get the attention of any person at YouTube, but rather you're going to get in contact with an automated system telling you what to do and how to do it, which at first seems like a good thing. However, when you look deeper into it, these automated systems don't resolve anything. Let's take for example demonetization. Many YouTubers have complained to YouTube over and over and over again about their videos getting demonetized for unsavory reasons. And yet when they try to get in contact with the Team YouTube Twitter page, all they see is automation after automation after automation. And don't get me wrong, automated messages can be very helpful when it comes to small minor issues. When it comes to bigger issues such as copyright strikes, copyright claims, community guidelines strikes, demonetization, and many more, you cannot rely on bots that have been programmed to send out specific messages that are seemingly unhelpful in these situations. Now, a good example of the automation system failing, it happened a couple of months ago with a YouTuber known as Critical. He uploaded a video which ended up getting taken down because it had violent content in it. Simply put, it was essentially a fake street fight between a bunch of mascots, and at the end of the day, the video itself was harmless. He was simply reacting to it and add context to the video. And of course, he appealed it and it got denied. So Critical went to Twitter and added the Team YouTube Twitter handle and said that the video was rejected and to please look into it. And of course, the automated system came to the rescue, which didn't exactly help at all. So the video was down, nobody knew what to do, hashtags started to trend on Twitter, and Markiplier ended up getting involved when Critical himself said that Markiplier's video, which contained the exact same footage from the exact same video that he reacted to that got his video taken down, and was still up on YouTube. And Markiplier came out and said, "Fair is fair, where is my strike, YouTube?" And YouTube makes the unexpected decision to strike Markiplier down, which inevitably led to Markiplier making his video expressing his concerns with the lack of communication.
Last night, I received my first ever YouTube strike. There's clearly an issue with improper application, or at least uneven application of YouTube's community guidelines. And moreover, there's a communication issue at the heart of it all. It all boils down to the only problem that YouTube has ever really had, which is communication.
It was only after Markiplier, Critical, and the entire YouTube community spreading awareness for this, having a hashtag trending, before anyone did anything. YouTube ended up responding with, "Update, we're not gonna die on this hill. You were right. After even further review, your video and others are back up, and these strikes have been removed. This was an over-enforcement of our policies, especially with the added context/commentary, as you originally pointed out." Let me remind you, it took the entire YouTube community to come together, have a hashtag trending on Twitter, and have two massive YouTubers, Critical with over 5 million subscribers and Markiplier with well over 20 million. Now, to put it in perspective, if this would have happened to someone like me or any other YouTuber without a significant following, the issue probably wouldn't have been resolved ever. Because whether you like it or not, even if I would have mobilized all 273 of you, it wouldn't make that big of a difference. Because that example required literally tens of thousands of people to mobilize together, come together, and trend a fucking hashtag before anything even got resolved. And to prove it further, I do have a story to share with you where one of my videos got struck down, and how the situation was never resolved even to this point. Now, this is a topic that we've all anticipated from the very get-go of the video: demonetization. It's a massive issue on the platform, no denying that. Telling YouTubers who work countless hours to get videos out, countless hours editing the video, countless hours editing the thumbnail, countless hours putting creativity and integrity and innovation into their video, only for the video to get demonetized and have them make what? Literal pennies. If you have the yellow dollar sign by your video, then you're completely and absolutely fucked. Demonetization on the platform is probably one of the worst aspects of YouTube, second only to their communication. Now, the way demonetization works is, if you don't follow these sets of guidelines or rules, your video may potentially get demonetized. Now, obviously, the demonetization system on YouTube has to be automated, because there's no way in hell YouTube could hire enough people to check every single video uploaded to the platform for every single minute of every single hour of every single day. So I understand that if they want to introduce a demonetization system to legitimately demonetize channels that are actually harming the YouTube ecosystem, I understand that it does need to be automated to an extent. However, there are so many examples of channels and videos getting demonetized on the daily for no good reason. And that's not even the worst aspect of demonetization. The worst aspect of demonetization is one that YouTube is trying to hide from. It's one that YouTube is actively trying to bury and deny. It's the fact when your YouTube video has the yellow dollar sign next to it, it means that your video's views will dip significantly. And more than likely, a good percentage of your subscribers won't even be notified about the video. It most likely wouldn't be put into their recommendations, it probably won't even be in their subscriptions, and the only way they'd be able to find it is if they look through the notification settings, or go directly to your channel to seek it out. I've had situations similar to this when it comes to YouTubers I've watched. I'm subscribed to over 700 YouTubers on my second account. And there have been times where I feel like I'm not getting notified about YouTubers uploading, or there's been times where I'm like, oh, this YouTuber just uploaded? They haven't uploaded in like several months, and I go to their channel page only to find out that, oh, they've been uploading consistently, I just haven't been getting notified of it. And that's the sickening reality of it. YouTube will try to deny it. They'll say that there's no correlation between YouTube views and demonetization. However, ask any YouTuber who's experienced it, and truthfully, there is a massive correlation. If a video is demonetized, that means it's not getting very much money, and if it's not getting very much money, then YouTube can't take a very good cut out of it. So obviously YouTube would want to promote videos that are monetized and videos that are going to get views and money, because it's mutually beneficial to both the creator and the platform. And that's because there's only so many videos that they can promote per day. There's only so many people watching YouTube per day. There's only so many hours in the day. And thus, there's only so many videos that they can recommend. And as a result, yes, I understand YouTube's need to promote videos that are actually going to make the company as well as the creator money. However, it's still completely demotivating to upload a video expecting it to get views and to see the views plummet. Seeing that 10 of 10 on your YouTube studio page, yeah, it's completely demotivating. At that point, it's like, why upload? No one's watching me. Maybe 10% of my subscribers are actually tuning in. What the hell is the point? And it's things like that that really gets to me, and I'm sure many creators out there. And many will say that, you know what, views, subscribers, watch time, money, none of that fucking matters. I'm doing it solely because I'm having fun. Yeah, keep telling yourself that, lads, because you're not going to be having fun when every time you upload a video, you just constantly see the 10 of 10 on your YouTube studio page, constantly see the videos dipping, losing traction, losing subscribers, losing views. It's not a fun experience. And to be perfectly honest, I love doing YouTube. I love making videos, I love creating stuff, I love editing. However, everyone has their breaking point. And eventually, after constantly seeing those 10 of 10s in the YouTube studio, eventually I'm gonna break. So to see YouTube constantly demonetizing channels and videos with no rhyme or reason, over enforcing their policies, and not recommending or pushing out the videos to the people who subscribe to this particular channel, it's absolutely sickening on YouTube's part. And honestly, it genuinely pisses me off. However, to give YouTube the benefit of the doubt, YouTube has tried to explore alternatives to fix these issues. For an example, they tried introducing a new system to where if a video gets demonetized, ads may be placed on the videos by companies targeting adult demographics. However, it is unclear to me if YouTube has fully implemented that system, as still many YouTubers are complaining and crying out that their videos are demonetized and they're making significantly less money than the videos that are monetized. However, if this system is truly being implemented, I'll give YouTube that. It's definitely baby steps, but it's definitely the steps into the right direction. Reused content refers to the channels that repurpose someone else's content without adding significant or original commentary or educational value. This policy is taken from the AdSense Search Console portion of the AdSense program policies. We put it in context that's more relevant for YouTube creators. I've seen this issue many times on my Twitter timeline because, again, Twitter is the best way to contact YouTube. And with this policy, it's not just the video getting demonetized, it's the entire fucking channel. Now, of course, there's many reasons as to why this could happen to your channel, whether it be because YouTube sees you as a cyberbully of some sort, or perhaps they think that you reuse content too much. However, as I said before, the policy reads as follows, and I quote, "Reused content refers to channels that repurpose someone else's content without adding significant original commentary or educational value." So basically what YouTube is saying is that if you don't comply with their version of fair use, then you can say bye-bye to your moolah. Now, I understand the original purpose of this rule was to be put in place that these Vine compilation or these TikTok compilation channels can't be making money off of just fucking compilations. That's somewhat understandable, as, you know, these compilations are obviously not their own content. It's not original, it's not innovative, it's not creative. It's literally just a person going on TikTok, going on Vine, going on whatever, collecting a bunch of content and just re-uploading it to YouTube. That obviously is not in fair use, and it's obviously not creative, innovative, or new, or inspirational, or whatever the case may be. So that I can kind of understand. However, many other channels that I see complaining about this issue happening to their channel don't do that. This isn't fair because fair use isn't always a black and white kind of thing. It's a gray area in copyright, and the way YouTube determines whether or not a channel violates its YouTube partnership program rule is automated. Yes, you heard me right, ladies and gentlemen. The system that determines whether or not you can even get paid on YouTube. Now, I know many of you guys watching this video probably aren't full-time YouTubers and probably don't make money off of YouTube. So let me put it in perspective for you. Imagine your boss fires you out of the blue and then refuses to pay you for the work you've done in the past. And when you ask them why they fired you, they say that you did something that you clearly didn't do. and then when asked for further questioning, they completely ignore you, or even worse, they tell you to speak to someone who's gonna speak to someone who's gonna speak to someone who's finally gonna speak to your boss. This is absolutely ridiculous because YouTube can be a job for people. You know, there's people out there who use the money that they make from YouTube to pay the bills. So to completely cut off a YouTuber's revenue stream out of the blue and not even really give a reason as to why? It's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely abhorrent and disgusting, YouTube. Which leads me back to the original point I made towards the beginning of this video, and that is YouTube needs to establish a better means of communication. Call me crazy, but I believe YouTube as a private company should be allowed to make whatever rules they want. I can disagree with them all I want. I can say that they're stupid, they violate my freedom of speech, and that I don't like them. However, YouTube is a private company and thus should be allowed to make whatever rules they wish to make. However, they have to have a means of contact in case their rules are overly enforced. Remember the example I brought up in the beginning of the video with Critical and Markiplier? Yeah, shit like that happens, and without proper means to communicate to the upper employees at YouTube, to tell them and explain your reasoning as to why your video was unfairly demonetized, to explain why your channel was unfairly demonetized, to say, why was my video struck down? The fact that you can't really communicate with them and you have to communicate with a fucking robot? It's absolutely disturbing to me. Especially to those who rely on YouTube as a source of income. Now going back to the whole reuse content rule, it's a pretty vague rule. YouTube, please define what significant original commentary means. Because for me personally, I find that my videos do have significant commentary. At least 60% of my videos, if not more, are my own original commentary. In a 20-minute some odd long video, maybe 5 minutes is the content that I'm reacting to, while the other 15 is me adding commentary, comedy, entertainment value to my video. Now obviously my channel isn't monetized at the moment because I don't reach the threshold to become monetized or to enter the YouTube partnership program. However, if my channel were to be monetized, I have to ask, am I at risk for violating the reuse content rule? And if so, how? Why? And please, you have to redefine what significant original commentary means. Give me a percentage, a number, anything. You can't be making rules that are vague, YouTube, because as a content creator, I'm trying to follow the rules. I want to actively follow your rules you set in place so that both my channel doesn't get terminated and to show you that I am a good noodle.
One must behave like a good noodle. I'm a good noodle! I'm a good noodle!
Now back in August of last year, the YouTuber goes by the name Huang had 3 of his channels hacked and stolen from him. And this is a plague that's ongoing on the YouTube platform still to this day. Many small creators with a couple hundred subscribers or a couple thousand subscribers are getting their channels completely hacked, stolen, sold on the dark web, and now it's making fucking spam content on YouTube. And this happens on the daily. However, the people whose channels get hacked, they don't have enough of a voice to yell out loud enough for the YouTube community to hear. Now, Huang was lucky enough to be one of the few people who have been hacked, to have had a significant following on YouTube, yet nothing, and I mean nothing, was done about it. It took many commentary YouTubers and many people on Twitter to reach out to YouTube before anything was even done. And the sickening part about it is, once an actual human got wind of what happened, they reached out to Huang, and within 12 hours, the issue was resolved. So just imagine this. It takes you months to get in contact with an actual human willing to help you, and when they do, it takes them like 12 hours to fix the issue. It's absolutely ridiculous to see this happen to a YouTuber with such a massive following. Because imagine if this happened to someone smaller, and as stated before, it has. Many small creators have had their channels hacked, and nobody has been talking about it. Which again, goes back to the #1 issue, which is the fact that they don't have a proper communication set up. You need to have a following on Twitter in order to get the attention of anybody at YouTube. So people who don't have Twitter, or people who have such a small following on YouTube, well, better lube up that asshole because you're about to get fucked. Now at the time, back in June, my most popular video of all time, with over 5,000 views and gaining, was removed from YouTube. The video was removed because I showed clips of harmful pranks, which is true. My video was a reaction commentary style video where I criticized the YouTuber Robin Barrel for his inappropriate, harmful, dangerous, and even illegal prank, all of which I pointed out in the original video. Despite the context of the video and despite the fact that the purpose of the video was to inform viewers of why these pranks are dangerous, on June 8th, 2020, roughly 2 years after my video's conception, and on my birthday no less, the video was removed. Now thankfully I was only issued a warning and there was no strikes given. However, the really fishy thing is, I sent in an appeal and less than 4 hours later, my appeal was denied. Considering the massive lack of communication, it's obvious that no human could have reviewed it. Are you seriously telling me that an actual person at YouTube, an actual human being that understood the context of my video in under 4 hours was able to look at my video, review the notes, and say, this video violates YouTube's terms of service? When it took days for Critical and Markiplier to actually get in contact with someone to re-review the video no less than 4 times, and thousands of people trending a hashtag. You really think that the human that reviewed my content was in the right? You really think that they knew what they were doing and thus denied my appeal? Just like how they denied Critical's appeal? Are you fucking mental, YouTube? Now obviously I reached out to Team YouTube a little bit later only to find out that my video was still rejected. 5,000 views, and like I said in the beginning, it's completely demotivating to see 5,000 views like that snap away. And while yes, I admit now, 2 years ago the content wasn't that good, the video quality was shit, I was using an old camera that had really poo-poo quality, and in general, looking back at it, I'm not completely satisfied with the quality of the video. However, it's still part of my history. It's still one of the stepping stones to becoming the YouTuber that I am now. And to have it erased like that, without warning or anything, it's absurd, demotivating, and just in general disgusting. It's part of my channel. It's part of me. There's a reason why I very rarely will delete a video or very rarely will private or unlist a video. I would say that at least 99% of my content is public. Even my very first video I uploaded to the channel, which was the very first video I uploaded to YouTube as a whole, is still available for you, the viewer, to watch. So I don't want my history being erased. Again, that's why I don't delete videos very often, and will only do so if a video I believe violates the terms of service and I have to delete it before YouTube detects it. So yes, I am very upset that the video has not been reinstated, especially with the added context of the message that was sent to Critical. This was an over-enforcement of our policies, especially with the added context / commentary, as you originally pointed out. Does my video not fall under these guidelines? Does my video not have commentary and context added to it? Because as stated before, the whole purpose of my video was to show that the prank was abhorrent, disgusting, bad, and illegal. And I said that multiple times in the video, that the whole point of the video was to show that the prank itself was bad. And sure, I made a couple of jokes here and there, but at the end of the day, the purpose of the video was to show that the prank was wrong. So to tell me that my video broke YouTube's terms of services only because it contained clips from the original video is absurd. What, do you want me to just tell you that, oh, these pranks are wrong? Look, I'm watching a video about it, but I can't show you the video because it will violate YouTube's terms of service? And furthermore, this rule was implemented not too long ago, maybe about a year or so ago, whereas this video was uploaded over 2 years ago. Now, YouTube has stated in the past that it is our responsibilities as creators to look back at our older content to see if they violate any new terms of services implemented, which is completely absurd considering the fact that I have had over 700 videos uploaded to the channel. Literally thousands of hours of content. Not to mention the rules that YouTube has is very vague, meaning as a single human, I cannot look through all my content to make sure that they all follow community guidelines. I cannot look through them and look through every small minuscule detail and say, maybe that does violate those community guidelines, because the community guidelines shared with us, the creators, are vague and confusing, and it's like, how the hell am I supposed to know if my video violates terms of service, let alone having me to watch all 700 of them? It's ridiculous, and I think that YouTube videos that were made before the terms of service was implemented shouldn't be removed from the platform. And if YouTube really wants that video removed, why not just simply email the creator? Give them like 30 days to respond. And if they don't, oh well. And this is the exact same thing Markiplier said in his video.
You know what's funny about this is if they really had a problem with this clip, let's say, for example, this clip was actually bad, which it's not. But let's just say, for example, you know what they could have done to handle it? They could have reached out. They could have just talked to us. They could have asked us to take it down. I'd like to think that we have a good reputation. You know, if a channel is actually in good standing with no strikes, why can't they ask us to do it for them?
So I don't know why. I don't know why YouTube won't do this. It's a simple fix. It's very simple, very easy. And I can promise you that every creator, big and small, if they see a new email saying, hey look, this video violates terms of service, you have 30 days to remove it or we'll issue a strike, I'm sure that almost every YouTuber will remove the video. Now, I cannot end off this video without mentioning the tale of Monkey Jones and Leafy is here. Now, these are two creators seemingly unrelated, however, the stories have the same twisted ending. Monkey Jones was a popular and well-liked creator on the platform, until he wasn't. About a year or two ago, he was terminated off of YouTube without warning, without justification, without rhyme or reason. It was as if our overlord, Susan, whatever the fuck her name is, snapped her fingers and dusted the poor man's channel. Well, yes, he was given reasons as to why his channel was terminated, and Monkey does go into greater detail on what happened, link in the description down below to the video. However, to put it simply, YouTube determined that his channels violated various TOS policies leading to his termination. However, taking a closer look at the policies he quote-unquote violated, it is clear YouTube was grasping at straws when attempting to find reasons to terminate the poor simian. As always, I'll link his video in the description down below. It's about 2 years old at this point. Everyone has heard this story. However, if you haven't, I highly recommend you check out his video, as he does go into great detail and gives off reasons as to why his channels should not have been terminated. Now, as for Leafy is here, it may seem more egregious than Monkey Jones. Just a few months ago, Leafy was here was terminated out of the blue without explanation. YouTube gave him no warnings, no emails, no strikes, just a complete ban hammer. When pressed for info, it took days for them to respond, and all they had to say was this: confirming your channel was suspended following repeated violations of our harassment policies. Note, we updated harassment policies back in December 2019, more here. We sent an email Friday at the time of the suspension. We'll DM you with more info. Aside from the fact that Leafy's most recent content is far from harassment and is mostly consisting of just fucking economics and shit, the fact that no warnings were given beforehand is truly a disturbing precedent for the website. YouTube can delete your channel without warning if they fucking feel that you violated terms of service. What the fuck is the point of a 3-strike system if you're not gonna fucking use it? What the hell is the point of it if they can just fucking insta-ban you? Why didn't he get emails telling him which videos were struck down and why they were struck down? No matter what side of the fence you're on, whether you're pro-free speech or someone who actively speaks out against hate speech, you have to realize when a corporation like YouTube has poor communication, vague rules, and ridiculous policies, and on top of all that, has the authority to ban your channel, take away your platform, and potentially ruin your career, Like that, it's fucking scary. This isn't a Leafy versus YouTube thing. This isn't a free speech versus hate speech thing. No, this is us, me and you and everyone involved versus a massive megalomaniacal corporation not properly dictating their rules and enforcing them fairly. It's about a company worth billions taking massive cuts of our revenue, yet still performing to the standards of a 2006 website ran by some guy living in his mom's basement. Point is, I'm fucking pissed. Now look, I know I haven't covered everything, and for that I do apologize. However, you gotta understand that for me to cover every little minute subject wrong with YouTube, it would take hours upon hours of filming and editing, and honestly, I just don't have that kind of time right now. And to be honest though, I really do love this website. It has provided an outlet for content for me for the past 6 years now. However, that shouldn't take away from any criticism the website faces. I think it is our duty to criticize YouTube when necessary in hopes that it will change in some way, shape, or form in the future. And quite honestly, that is the goal of this video. The goal for me personally is to hope and pray for change for YouTube. Because yes, I do truly love doing YouTube. I have lots of fun doing it. However, as stated with all the previous points, YouTube has its problems, and for that, it deserves to be criticized. Now, do I believe that YouTube will listen, let alone change its systems because of this one video? Probably not, at least not in the time being, but hopefully sometime in the future. And that is because there's many websites popping up trying to take YouTube's place as the #1 video streaming service. Websites like BitChute and Storyfire are huge contenders for that, having hundreds of thousands of creators and viewers coming to the platform to join in and produce and watch content. As for Storyfire, it has gained massive traction recently, hosting creators such as Keemstar, Optimus, Leafy, Ricky Berwick, Boblax, and many more. And if I'm being honest, if YouTube continues down this destructive path that they're paving, then eventually it'll all crumble like a fucking cookie. Hope you guys did enjoy. Social media links are in the description down below. And as always, if you liked the video, please leave a like, comment down below what you agree on, what you disagree on, and what criticisms you have for me personally. What could I have done better with this video, and what did I do good with it? And as always, like the video, subscribe if you're new, and click the bell notifications if you haven't already, if you want to stay up to date with my latest videos and content. That being said though, hope you guys did enjoy. Goodbye and farewell.